Hi there. I am so inspired and humbled for you to dive into this interview with me with Abigail Cool. She has been a part of the Global Grant Writers Collective for a little over 2 years. And Abby's a little bit different than our normal interview. So she is the executive director of a women's respite care center in Missouri. And one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about her journey was that she took grant writing as a skill and combined it with all of the other elements that she had gathered through her life and turned that into a gig as an executive director. So we wanted to share a little bit of her story. Before she joined the collective, she has been a faith leader, educator. She's been a domestic violence and unsheltered women's advocate. She ran her own business as a budget blinds called Castle and Cottage Co. She graduated later in life with her bachelor's in behavioral and community health. She joined because, in her words, she loves unicorns. But seriously, in her undergrad curriculum, there was a grant writing course, and the teacher spotted Abby and said, "You have got the skill for grant writing, and I think you should look into it as a career." And so as she did, she found the collective. And what really excited her was that they were a community of people. We are a community of people that really believe in the elusive work-life balance, or at least building a life you love. Since joining, she has graduated from her undergraduate program. She found this job and just knew that this was the job that she was meant to do. And the hire actually opened the door to utilize all of the skills and training she's had throughout the years: advocacy, public education, grant writing, management, creative solutions. She gets to work from home, which is one of the best things because she loves and gets to work alongside people who are compassionate and service-minded, while at the same time slipping into her garden when work duties aren't pressing. I know that you are going to love this different angle of the interview where we really dive into what does her work look like and how does grant writing amplify the work of an organization. Let's dive in. Hi, Abby. I am so beyond excited to talk to you today. Your work has had such an impact in your community, and I am just thrilled to dive in.
Okay, let's do it.
Awesome. This conversation is going to be a little bit different than our normal conversation because I want to start with your role as an executive director. And so
Mhm,
you run a nonprofit, the Women's Medical Respite.
mhm.
And I would love to kind of know, one, what medical respite does, but how your role as an ED is impacted by your ability to find and win funding.
Yes, well, very briefly, Women's Medical Respite uh, provides temporary shelter for women who are homeless and have acute medical conditions. Often a hospital will discharge an individual, and if they're homeless, they have nowhere to go to recover.
Mhm.
So typically, women are age 54, that's the average, and they stay 21 to 30 days. And while they're with us, we try to find them resources to gain self reliance. We're not always successful because each woman is at a different stage in her process. So, but that's what we do in general.
So, how does grant writing fit into your responsibilities as an executive director?
Well, because our organization is very small, it started 8 years ago with a group of sweet women and a nursing professor and nursing students. And so, just as of June 22, they had never had an executive director.
Wow.
They had operated as basically a charity organization. They had never really dove into the business side of running a nonprofit. So, me coming on board um, has begun the process of making it into a business and making decisions based on that. And in order to obtain grants, there were several steps that had to be taken. And they weren't easy steps for them because they've always been, a close knit group and cozy and sweet and, you know, coddling these women without any forethought of the future or sustainability.
Yep.
So it's taken gentleness, persuasion, and education to explain to them if you don't position yourselves this in these ways, you won't be able to qualify for the grants that we need long term. And
Yeah.
it's been a challenge.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's a challenge that you're living, but so many others are living too. And I think
Yes.
even when our grant writing consultants go out and interview multiple nonprofits, a lot
Mhm.
of them are not set up to actually receive grant funding. So
Exactly.
I'm just so grateful that you brought that lens because, how does grant writing fit into your responsibilities? We'd think if we weren't familiar with grant writing totally that we could just go into writing the grant. And
Mhm.
it's so much earlier than that. So I'm so
Oh, yes.
thank you for pointing out that we have to at
Yes.
least get grant ready first.
You have to be grant ready or it's a waste of time. I
Yeah.
do have one volunteer who's absolutely amazing with writing grants. We collaborate together. I search for the grants. Uh, we both watch for the grants, especially we've recently applied for 2 federal grants. And honestly, the first one that we applied for, we were denied. But I'm
Did they give you
so
feedback?
honestly excited about it because we will be meeting with the senior planner who he's the
Okay,
grant administrator,
great.
for Greene County. And so we are actually going to meet with him and he's going to discuss with us the details of how we can do better next time. And I'm
I
just like,
love
I'm
that.
excited. I'm sad we didn't get it. But now I'm going to have feedback to go back to the board and say, okay, we've got to position ourselves this way now.
That, like, in the grand scheme of things, this will be a little blip. Like, that
Yep.
denial will be this little blip. And then you're going
Mm-hmm.
to build this relationship.
Yep.
And from there, the
Yes.
possibilities are endless.
Exactly.
Ah,
Yes.
that is so exciting.
Yes. But
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I also just want to point out how cool it is that, like, okay, you like came on and got them grant ready and you've already applied for 2 federal grants. Like, even the
Yes.
process of doing that requires so many things to be in place.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So, have you applied to other grants? Is
Yes.
there an impact yet that you've seen from writing grants for your organization?
Well, yes, I have written other grants. The Musgrave Foundation, the Dar Foundation, um, Greene County ARPA funds. We did receive a reimbursable grant uh, December of 22. We have since used
Congratulations.
that. It was 32,500. We used that money to put a deposit on a home, to expand our
Awesome.
services, which we very much needed. We're going to go from caring for 3 women at a time to 8. So yes, uh,
Yes, which like is more than half, like more than double your
yes,
impact.
yes.
Hmm.
And so honestly, this isn't technically grant related, but the day that we signed the papers in July 11th to August 2nd, $65,000 came in. And I know big organizations will think, well, that's not much, but to us, it's a lot.
Grant funding and fundraising is all often coupled, right? And it
Yes,
is the
yes.
impact of that. And your fundraising ability impacts your ability to receive more grants. So
Mhm.
it's also
Yes.
positive.
And grant the process of grants isn't just sitting at your desk, at least not for the ED role. It entails building relationships.
Yeah.
And that's primarily what I have done this past year and a half as the ED is I've networked, I've shook hands with all kinds of amazing professionals and officials in the area. And so that's what that is doing. And it's not a sticker for me, although I do love stickers. What it is that the organization is becoming more known as a stable entity, a
Hmm.
professional entity. So therefore, people talk. Oh,
Hmm.
women's respite. I met her the other day. So
Hmm.
those little rivulets of water travel into bigger rivers, and we're building a reputation. In fact, we just applied for a resolution to make November 11th Women's Medical Respite Day. The state of Missouri
Wow.
has made a resolution the same, and we're waiting for Congress to make a national Women's Medical Respite Day, not day, but month.
Oh my
The
gosh.
Congress will get themselves together. They might actually approve our resolution, but there's just so much work that has to take place before you start typing.
Yes,
Mhm.
and you're doing all of this simultaneously. Do you
I
want to talk
am.
about how you kind of do all of this? And we can back into what your career journey has been, but
Yeah,
I mean, this is new for you. I mean, you're pulling
absolutely.
on different skills from your past, but this is a brand new role for you.
It is a totally, totally brand new role. When I graduated from college in April of 22, I
Mhm.
started college later in life after raising a family and other issues. Um, I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. And so it was on the news, the local news, Women's Medical Respite going to hire an executive director and expand. And I
Yeah.
was getting dressed that morning, brushing my hair, and it's like, that's your job, Abby. I'm like,
Mhm.
what does an executive director do? I had no clue as of June 13th, 2022.
So, what did you do to then be successful in this role?
Well, I studied, I read, I was approved for a master's program, a nonprofit and civic leadership program. I read a lot. I
Yeah.
ask questions. I meet other people, informational interviews. Uh, and there's a certain gut feeling to it
Yeah.
as well. And also part of the networking process, one of them was doing presentations for the United Way, the Give
Okay.
Five program, where they train the seniors to not train them, but introduce them to all the nonprofits in the area so they can volunteer 5 hours a month. Because
Amazing.
isolation and loneliness is the main cause of death in seniors.
Yep.
So as I give those presentations, I meet new people to come on the board. Well, I got a board member that is absolutely a whiz with nonprofit, and he's walking me through. He's
Amazing.
actually written uh, a nonprofit career academy curriculum that's being
Wow.
implemented at a local university. So he's my
Awesome.
right hand man.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it's not an executive director role, even a grant writing role. Um, is about delegating and using the talents of other people. That's
Yes.
really my job.
Yeah.
So,
Finding other zones of genius. I love that.
mhm.
Okay. So I do want to back up into your career journey because you've taken incredibly brave action. Um,
Thank you.
yes. I mean, one, it is really hard to just even go back to school and sit
Mhm.
next to 18-year-olds in a classroom. I mean,
Yes.
like, that's probably one of the, what I mean, like the base level of bravery. On top of all of the other brave things that you have done, but that it is so cool for you to have gone back and gotten your degree, and I just want to like
Yes.
really honor and celebrate that.
Thank you.
You were also navigating a deeply personal journey, and
Mhm.
you did all of this while working full time. So what has been the most challenging aspect of starting a new career?
Oh, the greatest challenge, having the confidence that it's okay to be me, number one, uh, and the confidence to fulfill the role that I've been given. I've had to work really hard with the board um, to explain to them. I don't think they realize what an executive did, and so that was has been my biggest challenge of explaining and educating them what
Mm-hmm.
my role entails. And it's they don't need to be afraid of it, but to let me do my job.
Yeah,
That's been the biggest challenge. And we
yeah,
had a very difficult come to Jesus moment for the board.
yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
oh dear. So that has been my biggest challenge because when I would move forward legitimately, they
Mm-hmm.
would, don't do that. Don't go so fast. Why are you going so fast? Why are you so creative? And I'm like, because that's my job, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's been my biggest challenge.
Yeah, I love the beauty of what you said there because confidence can is so dual. So there's the
Mhm.
internal confidence of the ability to even show up and push back and to
Yeah.
say like, yeah, I'm in a new career, but I also know that this is the right way forward. So that's one element
Yes.
of the confidence. And then the
Hmm.
other element of the confidence is actually the external confidence that others can provide for you and grow
Yes.
into with you What
Yes.
have you done to really ensure that your internal confidence is at a level where you can move forward?
Well, honestly, surrounding myself with people that are supportive.
Mm,
Uh, and they in turn have reminded me you're doing the right thing.
yeah.
And that, I think that bolsters me the most, is to have that confirmation that you're not a lunatic. You're actually doing what needs to be done. And
Yeah.
that helps me the most, I think. Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say that that's a really intentional decision and
Mm-hmm.
one that I don't think we give a lot of credit to, but it is really key. Like you'll read a ton of, pick up any self-help success book, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the core tenets will be to surround yourself with
Mm-hmm.
people who will get you to that next level of you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
and it's not easy. So I do want to acknowledge that like it's really intentional work to
Right.
get that community around you. So,
Yes.
on that same note, what has been the most rewarding part of this career change?
Oh my, the most rewarding, there's a couple of aspects to that. The first most rewarding um, blessing is that I get to advocate for individuals that don't have a voice, that don't have internal confidence, that don't have hope. And every time I put a pen to paper to start a grant, advocate or speak publicly, I may not be directly talking to the women we serve or the unsheltered population, but that work provides the platform for them to gain confidence and self-reliance. So that's the most rewarding part in one way. And the other way is just the amazing people that I have met this past year and a half. I
Yeah.
I I literally drive home. You'll laugh at me, but I literally drive home, pull in my garage, and I sit there and I literally cry because I'm sorry, I'm going to cry now. It is
Good.
just so beautiful to work with these people, and I am so grateful. And I'm like, I can't believe I have this role and I get to hold hands with all these people that want to really make an impact. And
Absolutely.
I just met with 35 people just a couple days ago, healthcare to housing collaboration. It's a brand new collaboration. And we all want to pull together to remove the real barriers that compromised individuals face. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I get to do this. So that's,
Ah,
yeah, that's the most rewarding part. And I didn't cry all the way, but I almost did.
I can still feel the gratitude seeping off of
Yes.
you. And that is, oh, it's such a light. It is such a light. So, what has been your proudest accomplishment this far in your grant writing journey?
I don't have a quick answer for that. I think what I'm most, I don't know, I guess I could say, for the lack of thinking of anything else, is just the experiences that I have walked through have equipped me for this day.
Mm,
And it's like, as I walk through life, I started out with just a tool belt, but all these tools have been put into my tool belt. And now
yeah,
it's like, oh, I have this tool. Oh, let me help you with this tool. I think that's what I'm proud of, is that
yeah.
I've gone through a lot, and all of a sudden, everything I've been through is nothing but not nothing, but a tool belt to now help others.
That is really beautiful. Oh, thank you. Okay, complete this sentence. The Global Grant Writers Collective has helped me.
The Global Grant Writers Collective, well, number one, they someone connected me with Give Lively, which was
Mm,
awesome, which is a
cool.
free platform for nonprofits.
Yeah.
But the collective itself has laid the foundation that I can actually write grants. Even though I didn't know all the ins and outs, and really this experience as executive director has given me such a perspective
Hmm.
that I now can implement more efficiently what I've learned in the collective. And I've also learned that have a new employee, and she's a whiz at all the computer stuff. I tell her a
Exciting.
concept, and in 24 hours it's ready. And so I've struggled with some of that.
Yeah.
And so I realized through the grant collective, it's okay to not be good at everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and to hire, I think recognizing where where our
Mhm.
limitation is, and then if you can, right,
Right.
hire someone to help
Mhm.
bolster that so that the two of you can do it like exponentially better.
Yes. I will
Mhm.
say that, when I started the job a year and a half, I almost canceled my association, not because I wasn't pleased, but
Yeah.
because I thought I wouldn't have time. And I haven't put as much time in it. But it's like, no, the collective is too valuable of a resource. It really is. So I keep it for that reason. I just love the support and the ideas and the networking.
Oh, I love it. Well, we are
Mhm.
so grateful to have you. Some rapid fire personal questions. What is
Okay.
one word to describe your dream lifestyle?
Work from home and have enough money to buy all the flowers I want for my backyard. That wasn't
Yes.
one word.
No, but I got it. I have the visual. Next vacation spot.
The Lake District in England,
Fiction or nonfiction?
nonfiction.
What are you reading right now?
Honestly, I'm reading Atomic Habits.
Oh, nice. It's a good one.
Yeah. And then I have several books on my Audible that I listen to. You don't want that whole list. There's 71 of them.
And then last TV show you binged.
Outlander,
Oh, my mom loved that book. What's your superpower?
creativity.
I agree with that one for sure.
Mhm.
Okay, last question. As we look forward with your goals for your executive director role and then potentially expanding from there, what is one thing that you're looking forward to as you continue to dream really big?
With regard to the respite or my life in personal life?
Either one. You can answer however you want, or both.
Well, my dream for the respite is presently we serve a very small population of women who need medical care.
Yeah.
We don't take cancer patients because of the long-term treatment. So my goal, my dream is to have a facility such that we can have hospice care, palliative care, cancer care, dialysis, a street medicine team, and that's my dream. Yes, right now we have a home, and that's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful, but there's so much more need out there than just the small slot, and that's my dream.
It reminds me of when I did my internship for my master's program. We went to a program in India, and she had started with one daycare center in the middle of the red light district in Kolkata. They brought in
Oh,
five
really?
kids during the day. It was an in home, right? Like just day use daycare center. Five kids,
Wow.
10 kids. And by the time I got there, I think it was 20 years later, she had um, that daycare center was full time. Kids could sleep there, right? So it was just a in the community safe place where kids
Mhm.
were fed, educated, and could sleep there. Another daycare center, a girls' home, a boys' home, and a like 18 to 22-year-old girls' home. So
Wow.
we had extended the life of safety um, whatever 20-fold. So it reminds me of this so much
Mhm.
that like
Yeah.
yeah, today we're here,
Yes.
and tomorrow the world is our
Yeah.
oyster. Mhm.
Yes, well, the healthcare collaborative that I mentioned,
Yeah.
that's that's the group of people that will work together to build that dream, because
Yes.
it has to be a community effort, including the hospitals and the
Mhm.
community leaders, and so that's the beginning of that dream, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I love it so much. Abby,
Yeah,
I am so inspired by you. I am so
thank
grateful
you.
that you are not only in the position you are, but that you are using all of these tools, as you mentioned, for just incredible good. And yeah, I am continuously humbled and
So
inspired
cool.
by your journey. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yes, I love meeting with you and talking to you. I'm always so charged after meeting with anyone from the collective. It's like, yes, that's cool.
Yes, I fully agree. I fully agree. So
Mhm.
thank you so much.
Yes, of course.